Okay, this is my family, and we all have keratoconus. I was diagnosed when I was fairly young and worried about my kids and got my daughter tested, and she eventually got my grandson tested. So we're looking to get all the information possible so that we can make sure that we can help the younger generation.
I I wear scleral lenses. I'm more interested in the new treatments and the different things that are out there. I watched my mom wearing gas permeable contacts the whole time we were growing up, and taking them in, putting them out, taking them in, and putting them out and stuff. And I always kind of dreaded, that I might get keratoconus and I might have to kind of deal with that every single day, and not being able to just get up and run out the door, but having to think about my contacts every day. So I'm really excited about the fact that cross-linking is something that exists, and that my son might be able to have a different journey than my mom had, and a different journey than I have, and that he can go get cross-linked, and maybe the progression of the disease will be even less for him.
I was looking to see what cross-linking, what it was, how it happens, what the process was, and I found all the answers I needed most of them.
I didn't wear contacts for 10 years because I had a hard time getting a fitting, and so it wasn't until I was forced to go back to the eye doctor because I needed to go for my driver's license, and I needed to pass a vision screening, and I was like, oh crap, you can't walk around blind anymore, you need to go take care of this. And so for me, it was going to Target the first time and realizing that I can look up and I can see all the signs across the entire store, and that I don't have to stop and think. And I realized how much of my brain power I was using to see, right? For my brain to remember what it was, or to guess what it was, and I don't have to do that anymore because the scleral lenses just allow me to see so clearly.
I've gone months without seeing clearly, and then I put in the contacts, and I've noticed a whole change in how I've been seeing things throughout anything. I can read for distances and miles. I couldn't see that without my contacts in. So.
I do, and I think that the working and trying to deal with your vision was hard, as it wasn't really diagnosed and you didn't have that much information. All the information we've gained, I see it much easier for him. He's able to participate in sports and school and things that were harder for me, that the vision problems caused more issues. And I spent a lot of my later years, I was an accountant and auditor and in front of the computer all the time, and that presented some challenges for me, but I don't see him having those same challenges. There's much more treatment available, that you can, different kinds of contacts, different kinds of things, and he's able to progress and do things that I don't think I did easily.
Yeah, I do think he'll have an easier experience. I think the fact that there are so many options out there that weren't necessarily available even 10 years ago, are going to make a big difference for him. And it's nice to be able to have doctors that are more knowledgeable about keratoconus, and they understand the disease a little bit better, and I think that makes a huge difference. Well, for him, I think cross-linking is essential, in the fact that, he can get cross-linking at such a young age, and, that maybe it'll halt the progression of the disease, and, we don't have to stress so much about, what's going to happen later in life in terms of corneal transplants, and, hopefully the cross-linking and other treatments that they're coming up with will, make it so that he can live, as much as a normal life in terms of his vision as possible.
Yes and no.
Photography.
Yeah, if there's photography, that something may happen with photography, and driving a car may happen, and help a little bit through the different treatments that I am gonna have.
So I'm originally from Utah. I moved here 2 years ago to retire, to be around my children, and these two live in Lake Forest.
Yeah, it's our first time.
Yeah, first time being somewhere in a conference with a lot of other families, so it's very interesting to have a chance to interact and hear other people's stories and what they're going through, and give you some idea of what you can maybe do to improve your situation.